Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, so today we're going to do a Divine Feminine check-in. First off, I'm just going to pull on the energies and see what's coming up that we may want to be aware of. So this is going to be for Divine Masculines who might be tuning in to see where their Divine Feminine is at. So what can we see? Thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. I saw the Twin Flame 1111 Union card at the bottom, so I was a little bit... So there's something about union and the Lovers showing up there. The higher love, something still establishing. That union card was in the inverse, so I'm getting that there's more higher guidance available to understand what true union would actually be like in a life partnership, is what I'm hearing. But what can we see? What is the next stage? Yeah, wow. Free will combined with divine will. We get what are we wishing for, and spiritual downloads, energetic downloads, divine downloads. So that's what's coming up next. The meeting place, the intersection of free will and divine will is what I'm hearing regarding these connections. So that means that we are aligning more closely with that template, that higher love template. And we're bringing union in based on how we are each translating what we're understanding about love into these real world scenarios with our beautiful divine counterparts. Okay, let's see what the shadow of this is. Where do we need to bring some consciousness further in? Well, we get Knight of Wands and the Hanged One. So Knight of Wands is the hot and cold ghosting card. These both came out in the neutral position. And that also is on par here with what we're wishing for. So there's a perspective shift, a paradigm shift that needs to look like these hanged one or pauses. I sometimes call this the universe has us in a straitjacket because it feels like we can't do anything, like we aren't able to come towards our person, or there's extenuating circumstances, or there's something that we're not figuring it out. The Hanged One usually has an epiphany in these periods of pause. And so the hot and cold of the Knight of Wands, that volatile energy, has been neutralizing during periods of, I wouldn't say separation so much as solitude or spaciousness, so that we can figure out what we actually want, that is not just the instinctual, animalistic way of approaching relationship that causes this unconscious, unsustainable way of connecting with people. We've had this amount of love illuminating to us, and then we've had circumstances that have put the brakes on in some way so that we can deepen, so that we can understand what we really want, how we can actually access what we really want. And so we can get this higher guidance, that lover's energy, translating into our situations. This is about standing the test of time. All the things love really is. The proving ground. So there's a neutrality that we need to bring to all of the assessments, the judgments that we're all so quick to make about whether somebody loves us or not based on what's happening. There's a lot less taking it personally and a lot more compassion, understanding, wisdom, mercy, humility about the way these things have been playing out. We've needed to get down off our high horse and stop judging others as being against us and become more receptive to love, to understand how it is not too good to be true, but how we get to point out and see what love really is. What is this doing for the intimate connections? This is the cutting edge here for the intimate connections. How is this free will intersection with divine will or higher love templates playing out? Oh, the Emperor in the neutral. So this can be control dynamics. This is also the masculine, the divine masculine, being in neutrality. What can we see for this message? The Emperor. The Emperor is at home with his power. He can offer you a great deal. Being the boss requires confidence, charm, and a generous nature. Those at the top make it look easy, even if it was a battle to get there. It also requires imagination. What will you do with your power? What kind of example will you be? So this is where we're coming into the understanding of what these connections will be out into community, but also regarding each other. I had a very interesting conversation yesterday about dominance and submission, and how there are destructive ways that plays out and there are constructive, creative ways that can play out. The Emperor is typically associated with control or being in control, composure, mastery. But that can be for control freak reasons, or it can be for safety, security, like in a wolf pack where there's an alpha wolf, an alpha masculine, and alpha feminine, and everybody knows and takes pride in, and there is structure in understanding the talents, the roles, the pecking order, but not for hierarchy's sake or power mongering. It's literally for ordering the chaos. And so there are innate, that Lover's card, templates that when we realign to the masculine and feminine original templates, take gender out of it, when we polarize into those things, there is a peace that comes in because people know where they stand and can balance accordingly. There is a deep, deep sense of calm and heightened chemistry that comes in when a pristine, polarized masculine and feminine can be found. So this is getting all of those control freak dynamics out and bringing it into the creative power, this exponential, unlimited potential that divine counterparts can unleash on the world, I just heard, can have come through the dynamics. This is where there aren't ulterior motives and other agendas, where love is the reason that these connections have come together. That's why there are typically such perceived obstacles to begin with. It's because it really does exemplify actual love being there when those perceived differences are loved through, around, over, under, where there's a solution to those things or an acknowledgement that those things bring in the healthy contrast that deepen and complement and support the unions and community. There's so much wisdom and texture and color and joy to be found in working with these unusual, never before seen combinations of individuals. It's your turn to make decisions. Make sure you know exactly what you want before you give orders. The nicest way to lead someone is by enticing them. So instead of manipulating and controlling and bullying and flogging, this Emperor energy is to actually invite, to extend the offers, to allow for reciprocation. So yeah, there is less of a dominance for dominance sake and more of a confident knowing that is sort of the Taoist leadership. knowing what we want to the degree that we understand the other could take it or leave it. But if alignment is available, heck yeah. Okay, let's see where the divine feminines are with what they are thinking and feeling for these beautiful emperors. Not that that emperor card was just the masculine, that's also the inner masculine within you, divine feminines. So let's see though, where are the divine feminines at regarding the connections? What are they thinking consciously about their connection, about their counterpart? What are they wishing for their own lives and for these unions? What are the feminines' actions in their own lives and towards these unions? What is the energetic card we can get for support, advice, confirmation, encouragement, direction for anybody watching, masculine or feminine? Based on the energies we'll see. Okay, conscious mind from the divine feminines. Ooh, 1111, nice. 7 of Cups, feminines, you have a lot of options. You have never seen yourself as so worthy of choice with regard to partner, life circumstance, things you want to do with your time. This is like not analysis paralysis, but abundance illuminating to you that you have a plethora of opportunities around you. You're waking up to that. So yeah, masculines, your divine feminine, kid in a candy store, I just heard, your divine feminine has never really felt like they had a say. And the feminine energy on the planet is waking up to really understanding how primary the feminine say really is. You know, we're reclaiming the womb chakra, the sacral chakra, as it should have always been intact, that the feminine decides who may pass, who may enter, who may sire a offspring, you know? And metaphysically speaking, the feminine is that subtle instrument that gets to say whether something feels right. Within you, divine masculines, that feminine aspect also is your intuitive knowing that your yes is 100% yes. Wherever you have resistance, uncertainty, hesitation, this is also your inner compass. Being able to discern all the options and choose the healthiest one, the most beneficial one, the most balanced one. The feminines are very much looking at what is worthy of them now. And yeah, justice. This is beautiful. So they're looking at if they could have every choice across the world as an empress, what would be justified? What would actually be balanced? We have the scales of justice in balance here, and the feminine now knows what feels good and right and true to them. And they're getting very excited that you, quite possibly, there is like an anticipation in this that there is going to be opportunity to also choose you. I just heard, and your hand in marriage. Divine masculines, justice can be those legal contracts in the physical, can be, you know, the suitor. The feminine is understanding what a life partnership would require because they have been permitted, they've allowed themselves, you've given them the opportunity, you've stimulated them on this journey to really consider their options without interruption, without your influence. Really, you've taken this opportunity to allow your feminine to come to their own conclusions because you have not limited or controlled or told them what to do. You've given them space. And so divine feminines are really now qualified to choose you. It's not too good to be true, divine masculines, because they have literally been allowed to, within and externally, and at this day and age on the planet, those who are on these first waves of awakening and choosing love to this degree have accessed this ability. What is the energetic card we can see? Seal of Venus, self-love, protection. So Venus is divine feminine energy. These connections have been protected. They are these angelically guided, protected, the Lover's card. These are cosmic templates coming in for this time of ascension on the planet. It is a time release. It is protected. We have been working forward towards a time on the planet where we can have real, authentic choice, and that we can be qualified to choose wisely. What are the feminines conscious of regarding you, specifically divine masculine? Ooh, the Tower in the reverse and the Two of Cups. They are so aware that on this journey they have felt like they knew what love was, and time again there's this revelation, radical shakeup about what love is, about what connection is, about the definition of connection and commitment and love itself. It's been turned on its head time and time again. You are that one that continues to push them to their growth edge, to rethink everything they think they know, to keep it fresh, to keep it exciting, to keep it new, to keep it on that hot edge of creation. You are the most alive being that your feminine has encountered, and you perpetually keep the ball in motion because you are divine masculine. What can we see for the energy here? Chamber of communication, telepathy. Your feminine is having their world rocked yet again about how love is more than the surface shows, more than the pretty picture, more than the good on paper, more than survival and what each could offer in a mundane sense. There is this energetic communion that your feminine is aware of. I just realized today that my love and I, even apart, we tend to take photographs that prove we are in the same shared energetic space. I just saw the third one for sure recently, where we both took a photo of a sunset with the sun in a similar framing in the photo. There was one where we both took cuddle puddle pictures at the same time. And there was one that I haven't shared with him about this massive red sunset in two different towns looking at in the same direction at the same time. He took a photo of it, and I got my daughter to take a photo because we saw a huge heart in the sky in the direction of his town. She didn't get the photo of the heart, so I never sent it to him, but I know what was going on. And then I saw his picture, and I knew on my heart how beautiful that was. And so that is an example of the kinds of things we share in these spaces that is so much deeper than the mundane. It's so practical, it's so observable, it's so obvious that there is this connection, and the feminine's worlds are just being rocked by this. You can't make it up. What is the feminine's conscious awareness of the heart space for these connections? Ace of Swords, 10 of Wands. So the feminines know that this ultimate truth will only be accessed when the karmic burdens are released, and it propels the feminines onward to get rid of the burden, to keep healing the karma, to keep changing the patterns, to keep making room so they can be free and clear to pursue. It's like they know they haven't found the ultimate truth for their own freedom yet. That can be hand in hand with these epiphanies, with these confirmations. It can give this wind in the sails to keep fighting the good fight. Masculines, your feminine is inspired on the heart space. That is so much deeper than just the analytical aspect or the logical interpretation. This is deep on the heart space. You give your feminine the will to keep going, to keep clearing out their struggle. I got some tears because of your love. Yeah, to keep ascending. We've got the blue star of hope. You give your feminine hope in their darkest moments. If you doubt that for 1 second, don't, masculines, because your feminines keep one foot in front of the other because of your love. In part, they are ascending, but you are matching that in so many unspeakable ways. And your feminine is saying, blue star of hope, ascension, surrender, purification. So this purification, the surrender, purification is the change that we're making, that is the evidence that we are evolving. The surrender is the healing that just allows and is receptive to what is with conscious understanding. And ascension, that is the life path, the flowering, the contribution into the world that is unfolding as we end the burden and we step bravely forward. What is the heart space, the conscious assessment of you specifically, masculine? Oh, Two of Wands, twin flame. Your feminine sees you as a two-headed monster, to be a force to be reckoned with, I just heard. And there's that Lovers card. So there's the two becoming one. Your feminine sees this process of twinning on the heart space. Your feminine, no matter how close or far, how silent or communicative, no matter what's going on, your feminine sees this is what it speaks of in the Bible when it says the two shall become one flesh. The two shall be aware of this meeting, this embodiment, this union, this two sides of the same creature. The other half, and not to imply that there is only half a person without the other. The other half, because it's a super being, it's a next level exponential extension of each other, even when not even in physical proximity. So on the heart space, you are that one. Harmonic oscillator, timing rhythm, synchronization and frequency. You are the one that matches their frequency. When your feminine purifies and refines and becomes their God self, you are the one that merges with them in that alignment, in that higher love template, the one that has the same soul stuff, not in theory. A lot of karmic twins or karmic teachers or soulmates, I think, if we want to go into the definitions that I use here, that I channel, a lot of them are harmonious, compatible teachers, but nothing to the degree of this kind of connection that is authentically complementary because of the way that the two are so pure in certain angles of understanding. It has very little to do with the outward expression and more to do with this harmonic frequency of the souls of the counterparts. What can we see for what the feminines are wishing in their own lives at this time? 8 of Cups, gone but not gone. They're wanting a return. Secretly, they're wanting to get to the next level with you and see where things are at emotionally. The 9 of Cups comes after and the 10 of Cups. So 9 of Cups is that wish card that we saw at the beginning where everyone's becoming more neutral without the agendas of what they really want. That leads to heaven on earth. That leads on designing and co-creating the templates. And so the feminines are ready. You know, the feminines don't always want to be smashed up in communication. If it's cringy, if it's awkward, if there are awarenesses that need to balance out, the feminines actually don't want to control or force or sell you prematurely, masculines. They're experiencing the cringe or the catalyst just like you are in periods of closeness and distance or spaciousness. They are not unrealistically wanting to be smashed up in connection with you if it doesn't feel good to them either. and they are excellent instruments that understand intuitively what that is like. But they are accurately feeling now a return, a swing back into further connection. They might not be telling everybody that, but they do sense this coming in. And I get that also with the Seven of Cups that we got to begin with. There is an excited anticipation at what could be. They are wishing for the masculines, for you to come in. They want to have your genuine, authentic self, plain as day, to see where you're actually at with these connections. They don't want to force it. What is the energetic card? Sophistication, ingenuity, originality, and elegance. Yeah, they just want to see the real you in all of your quirks. They love you. You've refined your character to such a beautiful, artful degree. They want to show you themselves. They want to get to know you really. They want authentic getting to know each other, not the masks, not what society would want, but the two unique individuals that are walking away from the things that are fake, that are beneath, the playing games, the masks, the defense mechanisms, the heart walls. They want to put all that down. They want you to put all that down. They're sensing that you have been dropping those, dropping the guard, dropping expectation, dropping people pleasing, becoming more confident, becoming more embodied. They want to see what that's like. What are the feminines wishing for these connections? So that was for their life in general, but we got so much divine masculine energy. The feminines just want to leave anything behind that is no longer an accurate representation of who they know themselves to be. What do they want with this connection? Yeah, they want to look at the anxieties that have been here as more of a read of frequency and balance or imbalance than something to be at odds and at war with, or something that seems to cap the potential. It's more of an instruction. They want to utilize their free will to actively uproot anxiety and be able to discover what is causing it and to work those energetic puzzles in the name of harmony. They want to do that in these connections. And partially what needs to happen, I just heard, is that the connections come back around, because it is the disharmonics that, instead of taking it personally and making it a deal breaker, in times of solitude, we're working on the love winning. And so what we do within each of us to move those insecurities or misguided interpretations of what's happened out, we get to just say, hey, I know it wasn't you. I know that wasn't your intention. But the love here is big enough to see us through anything, truly. What can we see? Yeah, psychic vision, hidden meanings and dream readings, seal of indivisible vision. So this is showing that the two are sharing a common vision that works seamlessly together, like that two-headed being in the Two of Wands. The twin flames hold the same vision, but from a masculine feminine point of view that complements each other perfectly. It's an indivisible vision. The more we get to know, the more we come into union, the more we merge, the more we realize we are living out the same frequency in two bodies. It is so beautiful, and that is because of the refining evolution of each. It pairs us perfectly with what is a match for us. And as we become masterful, we are paired with these complementary counterparts. I want to say again, I personally do not believe there is just one twin flame in the developmental stages as we're doing this. I feel it is a destined connection when we refine, but that we don't have to force one person into being our twin flame in our mind. It does the work for us as we refine. We are shown the signs of who our twin flame is. But I'd like to throw that term completely out, because when I meditate, the divine says where unconditional love lays, that relationship is closest to the throne. I just saw 2929 for some reason. Need to call that out. And so if we take the twin flame name out of it, twin flame doesn't mean somebody that we are fixated on, or even that we're seeing signs and synchronicities for, because signs and synchronicities are for the viewer, are for the one that's seeing them and their evolutionary curve. You can have that with multiple people, platonic, non-platonic, soulmates, karmic partners, whomever you're seeing signs for. That means that person is very important to your continued growth at that time. They are relevant as a primary relevancy in your progress. We are going for unconditional love templates here. And so as we progress in evolution and awareness, we can throw out the twin flame name and just say, where unconditional love lays, that's the Holy Grail. That's the counterpart. That's the life partnership. That's the mutual relationship that we are headed towards. We can have unconditional love for someone that treats us really bad or is in deep disintegration. That's not the same as a divine counterpart relationship necessarily. That is not a high functioning dynamic. That is a lot of things. We don't have to make that happen or cling to having to have those kinds of relationships be successful. We can pause, we can let go, we can surrender and make room for healthy relationships that are balanced, that are mutual, that are healed, that are compatible on those levels. And those are the ones that are the most sacred. We can love so many people unconditionally, but when we're searching for divine love partnership and having the love of a lifetime, it must be mutual. It must be evenly matched. And again, we can love so many people and their potential, but this is about loving ourselves enough not to cling to connections that are not balanced on that level. And all of you that have watched me so far up to here are on track for this level of love, or you wouldn't be hearing these messages. And so yes, keep allowing the natural unfolding of these beautiful connections. And if you don't have a connection that is here yet, you're safe, you're loved, you're on track for it. Let go of the fear. Let go of being afraid of being alone. Let go of fearing that your person won't heal. Let go of fearing that you have to have success with this particular person. And just love, just be, just allow. Live your best life. Leave the door open for this person, but be aware that you've got so many options. You've got so many options. But if you're truly coming into union consciousness with someone, you will start to see that there are so many similarities, extensions, mirrors that are not a stretch. They're not manic. They're not hyper. There are some times when we are traveling with high-level soulmates and people that are teachers for us that aren't going to be our life partner, that we want it so badly because we're so blown away that we're coming into a level of consciousness. But when we come into mutual alignment with a life partner, it is ultimate peace. It is such a deep safety and trust. It is not filled with guesswork or uncertainty or wondering compatibility or if that person will awaken. It comes with a deep, deep knowing that it's happening. So much love to everybody on every stage of the journey, because it's an individual journey of mastery, and we come up through so many stages. I don't profess to know that I'm coming into union, but I know I'm closer than ever before for the real thing. I also know that at many stages in my life, and I've been married twice and so in love at times, but I would have thought they were my twin flame had I known. But yet, in the midst of it, there was a volatility, a restlessness that I don't have anymore. And so now it is a take it or leave it. And I wish that for everyone. And it is my sincere heart wish that these channelings and my showing up here and evolving along with everyone continues to keep an open curiosity about what is possible in the name of love, safety and intimacy, sacred sexuality, true compatibility, peace in relationships beyond. And such a brave becoming for all of us. And as a divine feminine, I'm so excited to be alive on the planet, to be able to be out here, visible for all to see, my heart, my soul. And getting to work with all of you incredible lovers on the planet. You are my favorite people in existence. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey with me, for creating so much love on the planet. And thank you, my beautiful QT, for being such an inspiration for these readings. Oh, and for all beautiful sacred masculines and feminines on the planet. Okay, let's go. What is the action the feminines are taking? Page of Cups, surrendering the abandonment wound and stepping into wholeness. Nine of Swords into the 10 of Swords. It's allowing, the feminines are allowing themselves to overthink or to go deep and to really get to the nitty-gritty bottom of the angst, the anxiety, so that they can once and for all reclaim their wholeness, their freedom, and surrender the pain, surrender that crunchy turmoil, and just come into love. The feminines are sincerely, finally ready to put down all of that and return to the love. What is the card? Seal of Metatron, form, structure, foundation, cosmology. So as we come out of the abandonment wounds and come into wholeness, we are sealed. We are sealed with a new cosmology of love, an ascended cosmology of love. Cracking the code, I just heard. We've cracked the code. What is the action the feminines are taking directly towards their counterpart? Three of Coins in the physical and the Hermit. The feminines are taking their own matters into their own hands to not let any of these energies, entities, fears, paradigms affect their happiness in the physical. They are embodying love. They are embodying unconditional love in the physical. They are in Hermit. They're in the world and not of the world, always looking at their own alignment, always looking at their destined path, always being loyal to what they love. That is what is bringing the feminine into proximity with you, masculines. Oh my gosh, and we got Metatron's star. So we got Seal of Metatron, and now the light shining forward. So this is the foundation of sound, a sound foundation that allows for the light to shine freely. Exaltation, brilliance, triumph, and victory. So feminines have crossed the barrier of bringing these higher love embodiments into the physical form. No fear has anything on the feminines anymore, and now they can be truly productive with what they are envisioning going forward. Now they can truly bring the light and be the light in the world, knowing they're not foolish to love like this. What can we see for the biggest challenge for the feminines at this time? The moon, the things that they don't know, keeping a brave and open heart, keeping the door open for you, masculines. Being in this solitude, walking through the dark night, not knowing if it will be you that returns. Temple of Eventual Destinies. So yeah, The challenge is being ever present to what the destined path actually will be, knowing it is about the journey, knowing it is unwritten, knowing that it is changing in all moments, yet love remains the constant common denominator. That is the challenge of all challenges, to stay in that sacred feminine and to allow it to crack us open, allow it to keep us flowing in the direction of the eventual destiny of the return completely back into love. Eon's old dance, I heard. What is the solution for this not knowing how it will turn out, and to just being open and raw and peaceful and ready and whole on the journey going forward? Knight of Swords, there's communication in divine timing. So this is the code that's being cracked, that's bringing in communication. Let it unfold naturally. Enjoy the ride. Merkaba Matrix, light body expansion, illuminated presence. Non-linear time is going to start adding up. I just heard divine intervention. That's like the wheel on both here. But this Knight of Swords, this is fast-moving energy. This is communication. This is interaction. This is confirmation. So you will be seeing things either energetically or in the physical. This implies much like you will get messages from your divine counterpart, that there will be something that draws the two together again here, that it's unfolding naturally in divine timing. Divine timing is when everything aligns for the highest and best interest of all involved, and it is in the works. It is happening, and it is about this love quotient growing through all of us, balancing out and shining more and more brightly all the time. What is the immediate next few weeks going to look like? 10 of Cups. So we've seen the 7, the 8, the 9, the 10 of Cups in this reading. This is where we blend families, have children, have generational wealth secured energetically, financially. This is the heaven on earth. We're getting there in the near future, and we don't have to force it. We need to do nothing about it. It's happening anyway. Need to do nothing about it than be ourselves and to keep becoming ourselves. Subatomic velociter, acceleration, stimulation, and excitation. Yeah, things are speeding up. Now that we have balanced out, we've set that new cosmology about what love really is, what it feels like in every cell of our body. We get to see it materialize in front of our very eyes. Without having to do anything externally, it is an inner alignment that projects that onto the screen of reality that allows it to play out for all to see. Okay. Let's see. Do we want another card? Well, why not? Let's do a Beyond Lemuria deck card. Haven't used these in a while. What is it? Thank you, Divine Creator. What is the very best energy we can get here? Food for thought as we leave today's reading. One card only. One card. One card. There we go. We are getting beyond the mind. Okay, we've dropped into the heart. That is the sacred chalice of love, I just heard. 20. Thinking with the heart, being present, heart and mind connection, meditation, the bliss of being, quieting the monkey mind, fathoming the unfathomable, finding happiness within, going beyond intellectual limitation. The mind is a wonderful tool for moving us through the logistical elements of life so we can function in the world. However, its endless chatter, self-doubt, limiting stories, and subconscious programs can also keep us in suffering. One of the fundamental problems with the mind chatter is that it takes us out of the present moment. As soon as we are in the past or future, we can no longer be our most empowered in the present. When we are stuck in the past or worrying about our future, we are not in command of our now. All we are doing is draining our energy and removing ourselves from the beauty of this incredible moment where anything is possible. That is not to say we shouldn't plan for the future or honor the past. This message is about bringing our awareness to the present. We are naturally wired to be everywhere, but the present moment but the present moment. Just as we would exercise to keep our body fit and healthy, it is useful to practice being here and now. Learning to find inner spaces of peace and silence, regardless of external circumstances, is one of the greatest gifts we can cultivate for ourselves. That's what happens on this journey, is they don't come in easily. Divine love templates do not align quickly and easily because our ego mind wants them to. We have to drop out of the ego mind and go through the refining fire in order to align with our heart, which gives us peace on this journey. And when we do align with our heart, it's all love. Much of Western culture and society pivots on a mind-based paradigm. This has served us in getting from A to B in a very linear way, but it is not holistic, and the cracks are starting to show. We learned that logic is always the right approach. However, more and more people are feeling unfulfilled, unhappy, and anxious, even though we are living more comfortably and with fewer threats. What can we do about this? The answer is learning to just be, even just for 10 minutes of your day. There are many techniques to help you quiet the mind. Find the ones that work for you, and your internal world becomes more peaceful, conscious, empowered, and meaningful. So too will your external world. They are interconnected. True bliss is experienced completely and utterly in the present moment. In essence, it is the feeling we spend so much of our life seeking. Ironically, we have access to this feeling always without external stimulants or concepts. Allow everything to drop away so you are present. It can take some work, but presence and bliss are totally within your grasp. Commodity-driven society tells us we need to seek things outside of ourselves to feel safe and happy. This thinking keeps us out of the magic. The enlightened soul knows there is so much more. Okay, everybody. Yes. Revel in the so much more. Many blessings. Bye for now.